Of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson, celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus Hyundai, home of the Kona electric vehicle, an electric heart with an SUV soul. Test drive yours today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on primetime, safety concerns sparked policy review after a high school girls rugby match. Plus, the governor signed 6 bills into law and vetoes 3. Nestor Lecanto has the story. And the 6 finalists for the GDOE Teacher of the Year are announced this morning. These stories right here, right now, on your news leader. Half a day and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Primetime. I'm Tomas Manglotnya. Glad you could join us. The Interscholastic Sports Association, or ISA League, under the Guam Department of Education, is currently reviewing its policies on whether to allow a transgender female athlete to compete in high school girls rugby. The issue came to light during the season opener of the Girls High School Rugby League over the weekend. KUAM's Isaiah Uggan reports.
Guam Department of Education Deputy Superintendent of Operations Erica Cruz says they are looking into concerns that were raised as a result of this past weekend's girls' high school rugby matches. As we reported, Teads and High Rugby head coach Conrad Kerber called for a ban on transgender girls playing in the league after 3 members of his team were injured. Although the Guam Rugby Football Union runs the league, they follow the policy set forth by the Interscholastic Sports Association.
We're currently in the process of working with our legal counsel and our management team to further assess and research the situation of transgender, playing sports. This is obviously something very new to Guam, and at this point we are just doing our research, working very closely with our legal counsel.
The issue of transgender athletes competing in interscholastic sports, however, isn't new, as GDOE in March allowed students to compete in the gender division they identify as for high school wrestling. The decision was based on clarification requested by the Guam Wrestling Association. According to GDOE's letter, quote, individuals who identify as males may compete in the male division, and individuals who identify as female may compete in the female division, end quote. Although wrestling and rugby are 2 completely different sports, member of the LGBTQ community and bowling athlete Mama Shar is against the exclusion.
She lives her life as a woman, as the gender she identifies with. So I really don't see nothing wrong. And if the school sees nothing wrong and we don't have any laws that per se that she cannot participate in the sport, what's wrong with it? Yeah, sure, she may be built different. But I also look at it as, well, if they were training all in the same way, meaning if they're all doing the same drills, so doing the same things, why can't she play? Because she's trans? I just feel like if that is the real issue, just say that.
It was in 2020 World Rugby outright banned transgender females from competing at an elite level. The organization is the world governing body for the sport of rugby union. According to their policy, quote, transgender women may not currently play women's rugby because of the size, force, and power-producing advantages conferred by testosterone during puberty and adolescence, and the resultant player welfare risks serious injuries, end quote. But unlike World Rugby, U.S. Rugby does allow for the participation of transgender females to compete, but they must meet certain testosterone levels. Additionally, when World Rugby's policy was being drafted 2 years ago, the USA Youth and High School Rugby Working Group on Girls Rugby Growth and Development commented that rugby is for everyone, that the proposed ban shows a lack of respect for girls and women, and the ban is the first step to dismantling their values. KUAM News has requested from GDOE's official policy related to gender identity to participate in high school rugby, but we are still waiting for a response. KUAM News has also made several attempts to get a comment from Guam High School coach Joe Mancuso and has yet to receive a response. Reporting for KUAM News, Guahusi Isaiah Uggan.
Governor Leon Guerrero signed 6 bills into law and vetoed 3 others. Here with a wrap-up is KUAM's Nestor Lecanto.
The newly signed laws is one that grants an exemption to GPA to build a new 41-megawatt low-sulfur diesel backup unit at Cabras, while it's already required to comply with Clean Air Act provisions. Because it's within 1,500 feet of a school, Jose Rios Middle, it needed the local exemption. GPA testified that the standby generator is critical to its timeline for building the main Ugudu power plant, which along with solar farms will form the backbone of future power capacity. The governor also signed bills to update the list of scheduled controlled substances, a measure to transfer the Guam ABLE Savings Program from Revenue Tax to the Administration Department, a bill that clarifies continuing education for insurance, a measure that expedites social studies for adoptions and adoptive homes, and a measure that adds a youth representative to the Comisión Ifinot Chamorro. The governor also vetoed 3 bills. She found a defect in Senator Sabrina Perez's bill to strengthen the requirements for GovGuam small purchases. She said it needs to be amended to account for what happens if a purchasing agency does not get 3 positive quotes as required. She also rejected Senator Tony Atta's measure to require government employees who resign to submit to drug testing to retain their reemployment rights. The administration said this would violate their constitutional rights, as the Supreme Court has ruled that random testing is only allowed for those in testing designated positions. For all others, there must be a reasonable suspicion that they were using drugs at work. Finally, the governor also vetoed Senator Tello Taitaqui's bill to require business licenses for companies who provide child placement services. The governor said Guam law already requires companies that are regulated by public health to provide proof to DRT that public health has approved their license. For KUAM News, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
In response, Senator Tony Atta said, quote, "It is unfortunate the governor chose to veto a bill that would have helped keep drug abusers out of our GovGuam departments and agencies." Atta plans to seek an override. Meanwhile, Senator Tello Taitaqui will also try for an override, saying, quote, "The decision by Attalup allows private adoption companies to operate without being properly certified by public health." And so it begins. The annual budget hearing got underway this morning at the legislature, and the University of Guam was the first agency to present its FY 2023 funding request. It's asking from the general fund $33.9 million for general operations, $4.2 million for student financial assistance, $1.6 million for capital improvements, and $1.6 million for continuing special appropriations. UOG President Dr. Thomas Christ said they are pushing forward with some long-planned capital improvements, including one that's of particular significance as a result of the pandemic.
And thanks to support from you senators, we're embarking on several projects to expand our nursing program and reduce dependency on our expensive travel nurses by building a new 12,000 square foot.
Dr. Christ said a shortage of faculty and facilities is what has been lacking for the College of Nursing, and while they've been able to add more instructors, he said the new addition will provide enough space to accommodate their target of a 40-student cohort. UOG also received an $8.6 million grant from the U.S. Economic Development Administration grant to help fund construction. And ahead of the anticipated influx of millions of dollars in federal infrastructure funding, Governor Leon Guerrero has established a new Office of Infrastructure Policy and Development. She has appointed Bureau of Planning Director Tyrone Tatano to head it, and BSP Chief Planner Lola Leon Guerrero will move up as acting director of the Bureau. In a news release, the governor said the Building a Better America program has made available a substantial amount of funding for infrastructure upgrades. The Biden administration has asked states and territories to appoint a single infrastructure coordinator. The local OIPD is a temporary office, and staffing for the office utilizes available federal funding. And there's still time to apply for the Revive program in Salapi. As we reported, the program provides qualified households with a one-time $300 payment to be used for gas or other needs. It ends this Friday, April 15th. DOH Deputy Director Bernie Guinness.
The 19,000 mark of applicants that have submitted their applications to us. We've already expended and paid out over $1 million. So over 3,350 applications have already been processed and paid out. So again, we are just, if you haven't applied, this Friday would be the last day.
Guinness added that individuals who submitted applications online but have yet to submit other supporting documents such as ID, social security cards for each household member, and current employment verification must turn them in by Friday, April 15. For the full list of required documents or more details on this program, go to doa.guam.gov/program-salapi. And over in the NMI, the criminal charges filed by the Attorney General against Governor Ralph Torres' alleged misconduct in public office reaches a speed bump. Attention now turning to who will preside over the case in court after a trial court judges recuse themselves. Here's more. As the historic legal battle looms in Superior Court after the Attorney General filed criminal charges against Governor Ralph Torres alleging misconduct in public office, theft, and contempt, all 5 trial court judges in the NMI are keeping their hands off the case. Overnight, the island's Superior Court judges issued their recusal, saying they can't touch this. Conflicts in the case continue to boil as the governor attempts to swim out of hot water. Judge Wesley Bogdan recused himself because he previously served as the governor's legal counsel. He took his seat on the bench in 2017 after being appointed by Governor Torres. Judge Joseph Camacho's recusal notes a conflict of interest. That conflict, his wife, Attorney Viola Alapuzo, is representing the governor in this matter. She was also caught editing the Senate impeachment trial rules before they were made public and before she was hired to serve as Torres' counsel in that hearing. In their recusals, Judge Teresa Kim Tenorio, Judge Robert Naraha, and Judge Kenneth Gavendo say their objectivity in the matter might be questioned as well. But this is not the first time the courts are maintaining a distance. The same judges also recused themselves months ago in the ongoing Superior Court case where the governor is challenging the legislative subpoena that he was held in contempt for violating in the House of Representatives committee investigation. That contempt charge is also listed in the AG's suit. It's unclear who the High Court will appoint to fill the seat. It could very well be a jurist from Guam. In a statement to the press over the weekend, the governor's office declined to comment further, but stressed that they have trust in the CNMI justice system. Known as Philips Respirationics, clarified that Guam will not be slept on when it comes to the recall of their CPAP and BiPAP respirator machines. Guam Attorney General Levin Camacho filed a joint letter to the company, along with the Attorneys General of American Samoa, the CNMI, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, raising concerns that the U.S. territories were not included in the initial recall in its response. Phillips clarified that the program does extend to the U.S. territories and that their machines will be replaced and shipped at no cost. In 2021, more than 15 million Philips machines produced between 2009 and 2021 were recalled due to problems with the foam deteriorating, causing concerns of the possible long-term health issues. For more information, visit usa.philips.com, contact 671-475-2720, or email consumerprotection@oag.org. Still to come on Your News Leader, we introduce you to the 6 finalists for Guam Department of Education's Teacher of the Year. And still to come, the status of the island's public pools. These stories and more next.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
I'm stuck in this infinite time loop thing.
I'm reliving the same day over and over again. I get to do whatever I want.
Plus, Taco Bell's nacho fries never leave the menu.
She's violating the nacho fries limited timeline.
Does that happen every day?
Let's dip.
Try her now!
What's happening?
Let's get spicy!
Half a day. Gas prices continue to rise and we are here to help. We have revised Programa Salapi to provide a $300 direct cash assistance payment to most households. We've expanded income eligibility so more families will benefit.
We've heard your struggles and we hope this relief will help during these difficult times. The Department of Administration will begin accepting applications on Tuesday, March 15th, 2022. For more information, visit doa.guam.gov.
This ad is paid for by the Office of the Governor using government funds.
Let us know what's up on our KUAM News WhatsApp tip line at 671-727-0094. Share information about what's happening in your town, on Guam or the CNMI, and what you want us to know. Reach us on WhatsApp at 671-727-0094. Welcome back. Former Customs and Quarantine Officer Henry Alvendia appeared before Judge Michael Berdalio in District Court for a repetition for revocation of supervised release hearing. During the hearing, his attorney, John Gorman, disclosed the possibility of Alvendia receiving treatment from Lighthouse Recovery Center. In 2015, Alvendia, along with several other government officials, were indicted for accepting kickbacks and bribes from local businesses. Trial begins for Alvendia on August 8. And in District Court, Jovan Bradbury was sentenced by Chief Judge Francis Tidinko Gatewood to 30 months in prison and 5 years of supervised release. He's charged with possession of 5 or more grams of methamphetamine hydrochloride with intent to distribute after housekeeping at a Tumon hotel found an ice pipe with meth residue, multiple plastic baggies, and a scale inside of a hotel room safe. Judge Tidinko Gatewood will make a judicial recommendation for Bradbury to serve his time at the Petersburg Correctional Facility in Virginia in order to be close to his family. Conditions of his supervised release include submitting to substance abuse testing, participating in a substance abuse treatment program, community service, and staying away from intoxicating substances. A couple faces child abuse and family violence after multiple fractures were found throughout the body of a 3-month-old infant. Officers were called to Naval Hospital on April 9 after a pediatric doctor discovered fractures to the infant's humerus, ribs, and skull. 22-year-old Austin Christopher Johnson and 20-year-old Nika Mae Johnson both allegedly denied knowing how the baby got the injuries, and the court documents state that the two showed no emotion when asked about them. However, Nika Mae Johnson allegedly told officers that her husband gave the child a bath and she noticed a large bump on the child's arm after he handed the child over to her. The doctor indicated that some of the injuries were in the process of healing, meaning that they weren't all inflicted at the same time. Child Protective Services was notified and took custody of the child. And the Guam Swimming Federation is one of the organizations at the forefront of calling for restoration of the decades-old Hagåtña Pool. Diving in with the details, Daniel Paris.
Years, the Hagåtña Pool has been in a state of disrepair. However, assistant coach for the Guam Swimming Federation, Frank Flores, is one of the representatives fighting for the pool's repair, as he believes it can still be salvaged. He's also part of the Guam Pool Task Force, whose goal is to look into the restoration of the Hagåtña Pool or have a new one built. As KUAM News reported, it was back in September of 2020 that the Guam Economic Development Authority ruled that the Hagåtña Pool can no longer be saved.
They were operating under an assessment, but there wasn't a real engineering analysis that was done to truly determine how viable that infrastructure is. And what we need to do is we understand that it is going to take some money to repair. And in 2014, a study was done, and it was authored by GITA, and that study took a look at how much it would cost to repair the Hagåtña Pool. Back then, cost was about $1.1 to $1.9 million. Given the issues that have happened over the last 7 years, it might be more, it might be less, but we need some good hard facts and figures to determine how much it's going to cost to repair the Hagåtña Pool.
A request for proposal was released last week by the Department of Public Works to assess the Hagåtña Pool for a more in-depth engineering and structural analysis to see how viable the pool is and how much it's going to cost to repair it. Flores also gave an update regarding the Dedido pool and how repairs are coming along.
I've been in close communication with Warren Pelletier, and because of shipping issues associated with moving materials and the global supply chain issues that we've all been experiencing, some of the materials are delayed. So we had a goal of repairing that pool and having it operational by Easter. That's gonna be delayed a few weeks because of those shipping issues.
As of this time, there is no clear date as to when the northern pool will be fully repaired and operational. Flores added that although both pools remain unusable, that hasn't stopped the Swimming Federation from training. He shared GSF's plan of continuing to train, along with where they're currently training.
We have a short-term plan to, number one, take a look at asking the military base to see if we can hold swim meets there. We got a grant through the governor for $63,000 to pay for use of the St. John's pool, because that's the only swimming pool that we're able to train in and to hold meets in. And really, holding meets there is very limited because the distance isn't right for actual swimming competitions. And then number three, we've been working with DPR to fix the Dedido pool. And we've expressed how important it is for us to restore both pools as quickly as possible.
Flores added that GSF will continue to use the St. John's pool until another pool becomes available. Daniel Perez reporting for KUAM News.
We reached out to DPR officials to get an update regarding what's been repaired with the Dedido pool. A response has yet to be received. And the Guam Department of Education and the Foundation for Public Education announced the 2023 Guam Teacher of the Year finalists. 2021-2022 Guam Teacher of the Year, Dr. Benji Santiago announced Joy Lynn Ada of George Washington High School, Joyce Berry of John F. Kennedy High School, Stephanie Conception of Talafofo Elementary School, Seferino Duarosan Jr. of Atacao Elementary School, Kiana Mendiola of Upi Elementary School, and Tania Santos Billani of Agata Johnston Middle School are competing to be the next Guam Teacher of the Year. In the final stages, the judges will conduct classroom observations for each of the finalists. The FPE and GDOE will announce the 2023 Guam Teacher of the Year at the virtual gala on Sunday, May 15. Bank of Guam, Cars Plus, and KUAM Communications are the event's major sponsors. Stay tuned. Up next, Dave Delgado with sports and your local roundup. Still to come, we continue with our Green Leader series. Keep it here. You're watching KUAM.
If you really want to find out what you're made of, you can forget the personality tests and social media quizzes. Because the only way you're ever going to know is by heading into the big, wild, raging, so damn beautiful it hurts world and finding out for yourself. Were you born to follow a path, or were you born free? These are the things we thought about when we made the new Grand Cherokee. Made for what you're made of.
The new season just dropped. Enter the Big Dinner Box from Pizza Hut. 2 pizzas, breadsticks, and wings all in one box. You'll run out of episodes before you run out of food. The Big Dinner Box, only from Pizza Hut. No one outpizzas the Hut.
Mobile Smiles just got bigger and better. Get more Smiles points for every gallon of fuel you purchase. Or get more miles with United Mileage Plus. Smiles card online to start redeeming rewards today at guam.mobilesmiles.com.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Third-degree Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt champion Bryant Pangilinan will be holding a jiu-jitsu seminar at the ISC gym in Agana tomorrow night. Pangilinan is holding the event as a fundraiser for his brother Joe, who's battling cancer.
My brother has always been the first person to give the shirt off his back, give the food off his plate, just to help anybody out.
whether it being helping him out in the gym or in their own, personal lives. He's always been that person to lean on. And, it's great to see and hear all these great things that people are putting out there. I've been getting personal messages and seeing all these Instagram and Facebook posts about my brother. Things that I know that he's done, and even things that I haven't didn't even know he did. But it all follows that same line of him just being a great human being and always being there for people.
Wednesday's seminar will take place from 6 to 8 p.m. at a cost of $40 per person.
This Wednesday night, everybody's welcome. All teams on island, all levels, practitioners alike are welcome to come by and promote this whole event for everybody, simply because it's for a good cause, and it's all to help my brother.
Joe is currently in treatment at the Guam Memorial Hospital. He was diagnosed with colon cancer. Bryant says his brother already had his first surgery and will be undergoing chemotherapy soon.
He's the one who taught me how to work out. He's the one who taught me how to pick up a barbell and pick up a dumbbell. But aside from that, he carried those same things that he did for me as a sibling and to help the people here on Guam. He's been that big brother, that role model for everybody else in and out of the gym. And, he's just that kind of person you can always rely on.
Switching over to some basketball news, the University of Guam men's basketball team continues to improve in the Triton Men's Basketball League, but still has no wins to show for it, as the Triton League has 2 more season dates left in the season. UOG fell to the KFC Bombers 109-84. Nicholas Panganiban had a season-high 24 points for the Tritons in the loss. Team OG slipped past Wu-Tang 73-72. Chris Connor led the way in the win with 28 points.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Need a new phone? Trade in now and get up to $500 off our best 5G devices. Trade in your older phone in any condition and step up to better savings and speeds only our 5G network can provide. Check out our website and catch up on the best mobile experience. Trade in now. Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Say hello to the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app. Got a question about your finances? You've come to the right place. Bring all your accounts together, even those that aren't with us, and see the big picture, right down to the smallest detail. Unlock powerful tools like Insights and Money Map that help you save time and take control of your finances. When you connect accounts with the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, it all starts with yes.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replay, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Hi, it's nice to see you again. Continuing with our Green Leaders series this week, Joan Argan-Chufris heads to the Hyatt Regency Guam, who is making the necessary strides to be more sustainable.
KUAM News Green Leader Profiles is presented in partnership with UOG Center for Island Sustainability, Guam Green Growth, and UOG Sea Grants. Executive Chef of the Hyatt Regency Guam, Chef Mirko Augustini, found himself in good company last week, with the hotel playing host to the University of Guam's Conference on Island Sustainability. The longtime Hyatt chef has been a huge proponent of supporting local farms and sustainable efforts.
And I support very stronger into hydroponic or aquaponic, which is a UOG Triton farmer, which they have a nice aquaponic and they grow tilapia and the nice lettuce, which is used for when is available in all our outlet. And hydroponic, we have one new company which is came online just a few months ago, and it's great. You have a 44-foot container are full of romaine lettuce, and that's where you pick it and it's so fresh.
Walking around the property, you will come across some small herb gardens planted by some of the Hyatt chefs.
Chef Tony, the executive sous chef at Hyatt Regency Guam, he's so passionate to say, I grow in my lettuce, my mint for the mojito we serve in the beautiful place of Breezes. And that's it. We have a lemongrass, which we're gonna use it for whenever we need to have it for a roasted or barbecue chicken, which today we're going to use it for a UOG CIS, which is meant with the sustainable, yeah? They're really working for the community to educate people what this means sustainable.
In fact, Hyatt's restaurants are committed to the care and sustainability of the community. They've established great relationships with local businesses, such as the UOG Core Seed Aquaculture Corporation and Tiny Greens Guam, in efforts to reduce their carbon footprint and ultimately support local.
We have the EOG shrimp, which is, as a chef, is a dream. We say we must have always fresh fish, whereas here in Guam it's kind of difficult, especially for the amount of product we needed. But the shrimp now are really partner with the EOG, and I use it in anywhere I can.